Jubilation earlier today for Oliver Goethe. Can he do it again in race number 3? He will start from 6th position here at Estoril. 50 years of this wonderful venue and our first time here since 2018. We've had 2 cracking races so far in the Euroformula Open paddock. Let's see if we can make it 3 from 3, shall we? We've got 2 different winners so far in this weekend as well, in the form of Oliver Goethe, who we've already mentioned, and Christian Mansell, who took a commanding win earlier today. Not so much command over the situation in race 2, unfortunately. Ended up dropping down to 8th place, but he knew something was up with the car. They've been working hard in the garage to make the adjustments necessary to get back the race-winning car from Saturday, and there are plenty of rookies up the order in this 3rd race. The grid for the 3rd race is determined by our qualifying from Saturday morning, albeit with the top 6 reversed. What does that mean? It means that Sebastian Ogard is our pole sitter. He is one of the AM drivers. He was also 2nd in the Spanish Formula 4 last year, so it's no surprise that he's come in strong here in Euroformula. And then Vladislav Lomko, who is in 3rd place. He's also a rookie driver. They'll be starting either side of Frederick Lubin, the Brit driver, the number 78, starting from 2nd overall. We are joined once again by a strong contingent of drivers in Euroformula Open. Of course, they want to keep the cars tidy in this 3rd race because in about 5 days' time, they need to head out on circuit for the first time at the Po Street Circuit. But one more race at Estoril for them to navigate before we get there. My name is Adam Weller, and I'm joined in the commentary box once again by George Morgan, a busy man. He's not just commentating, he's got some interviews that he's had to just run back from, but you weren't going to miss this 3rd race.
How could I miss it, Adam? Race 3, Euroformula. And it's special. It's the last one we're going to have here at Estoril this weekend, so delighted to be seeing this very, very lively grid that we have here. Obviously, we just witnessed the wonderful result. Ollie Goethe, of course, taking a wonderful win earlier. Obviously, after that mere incident there with Alex Peroni, but we've got the likes of Frederick Lubin up at the top end as well. There's Sebastian Ogard. He, of course, was on the podium in our 2nd race too. So we've got lots to look forward to. I can't wait.
Lots to look forward to. I still love the fact that Sebastian Ogard actually bought the helmet. He was drooling and salivating over in the paddock on Thursday, hence the plain carbon on his hat. Frederick Lubin there in 2nd place, as we said. He'll be looking to make good ground from the front row. Then it's Vladislav Lomko. Vladislav, who raced last year in Formula 4 competition, did very well indeed, stepping up to Euroformula this year. We'll see how he does. Then it's Christian Mansell in 4th position. Young Christian, who has had a mixed bag so far this weekend, as he would tell you himself, but he'll be looking to make hay while the sun shines in Portugal for the 3rd and final race. He started on the 2nd row in his winning race yesterday, so let's see if he can perform similar magic here today. Josh Mason in 5th, got a front row start in race number 1, didn't capitalise quite as he would have liked to. He'll be looking to make amends this time. And Oliver Goethe, he swore to us both while having a chat with both Ollie and Stuart Hall, his driver coach, that he would get a great launch in this 3rd race. He's struggled with the start so far this weekend. Let's see if he can make amends now. Philippe Augran there, starting from 7th place. Of course, he got into it with one of the other cars from the Van Amersfoort stable coming into the 2nd corner of the 1st lap in race number 1. And Nicolas Pino there with a little raise of the eyebrows. He looks like he might have something up his sleeve, you know. Nicola Marinangeli there in 9th position, having a look at the track map, just making sure that all is well. He doesn't have to rely on the sat-nav. Alex Garcia in the number 24, the Mexican driver from Team Motor Park. Let's see how he does this time from 10th place. Francesco Simonazzi is behind him, another of the rookie contingent, as is Alex Garcia. And then starting at the back, courtesy of a poor qualifying, we'll see him in a moment, is Alex Peroni. Now, Peroni bumped into him during the lunch break, and he disclosed that actually there was quite a significant issue with the car that they didn't identify until after Saturday's running. So Pironi has now got a car up to full swing. That's why he looked rather competitive in race 2 of the weekend earlier today. He was leading for a while. Let's see how he can get up the order from 12th place, George.
Yeah, well, we did walk past the garage earlier on. They had been hard at work on Pironi's car, repairing the rear wing, I think, from obviously what had happened.
So, sorry, just going to highlights now from race number 2. And another, in fact, this is race 1, sorry. Josh Mason there not getting the launch at all, nor did Oliver Goethe. This is what happened to Philip Ugran. He became beached in the gravel, and the safety car was soon deployed. Once we went to green flag action, however, it was all about Christian Mansell in the lead and all about Oliver Goethe as he performed a massacre through the field. He was climbing up the order with aplomb, and Mansell took our win on that occasion with delight. Oliver Goethe, though, a resounding performance to get up to 3rd place. Race 2, earlier this morning, not a good launch again from Oliver Goethe. Not great either from really anyone except from Alex Pironi. Pironi had a lightning start. We saw some great fighting further back between Lubin, Ogard, and this man, Oliver Goethe, who was carving through the field. He got to 2nd, then he got to the back end of Alex Pironi. That collision was deemed worthy of a 5-second penalty, but he pushed on, and despite the 5-second penalty, he managed to take the win. Oliver Goethe with a resounding performance earlier today, and what that has done is put him 14 points clear in the championship scrap. Christian Mansell will be looking to get as many points as he can from 2nd place Lubin and Ogard on 28 and 27 respectively, so very close from 2nd through 4th place. But now it's time for race 3. The points are a mere back thought at the moment. It's all about getting the cars off the line, and Sebastian Ogard will be the first to do so alongside Frederick Lubin on the front row of the grid, Vladislav Lomko and Christian Mansell on row 2. Then on row 3 it's Josh Mason of the Crypto Tower Racing Team alongside Oliver Goethe from the Motor Park stable. That was our front row from race 1. Philip Ugran in the Van Amersfoort number 14 car and Nicolas Pino in 8th. Then it's Nicola Marinangeli in the Van Amersfoort Racing number 22 alongside Alex Garcia of Mexico. Francesco Simonazzi in the BVM Racing 84 car starting on the back row alongside Alex Pironi. Both of those drivers have had better performances than that grid slot entails. Let's see how they can do. A bit of a trouble getting off the line for Vladislav Lomko, however. He does eventually get the car off the line and will reassume his 3rd spot without too much problem. Christian Mansell, well aware of the situation, lets that happen. But goodness me, I'm very excited for this. We've had 2 fabulous races here at Estoril today. Estoril, often criticised for not being a prime overtaking circuit, but apparently no one has informed the drivers of Euroformula Open. They've been brave, they've been gutsy, and they provided us with some magnificent motorsport.
We've seen so much of it this weekend. Going back to my last point, of course, Alex Pironi having his rear wing fixed after the incident in race 2, but he'll be all set and ready to go from his grid position in 12th, back of the grid. But remember, race 1, he started from the same place, got himself up to P6 at the end of that one, so don't write him off. And remember, he was leading the majority of race 2 as well, with Ollie Goethe tracking him down as they went through. So lots to look forward to. I would also be keeping my eye on Christian Mansell. Of course, no doubt the setup will be maybe a bit different from race 2. If you remember, I don't think he was quite happy with the balance of the car on this occasion. Certainly didn't seem like the same as it was in race 1, of course. So I think we can definitely expect to see some improvements from Team Mansell.
I reckon so. Mansell from the Crypto Tower Racing outfit. He's been buzzing to be a part of the Euroformula Open paddock again after he did a part season in 2021. And so far so good, especially in race 1. Race 2 wasn't ideal, but he got to the end and scored a few solid points that could become critical by the end of the season. Race 3, though, is another chance for him to start from the second row. Another chance for him to get a good launch. Mansell has been a demon off the line here at Estoril this weekend. They come through the Parabolica Ayrton Senna at the closing stages of this formation lap. Sebastian Ogard, the pole sitter, the fastest rookie so far this weekend, along with Vladislav Lomko. The pair of them have a rookie win apiece, as it were. Both of them are also on the overall podium, so proving that the new blood is just as potent as some of the old guard here in Euroformula. And I say old guard knowing that everyone on the grid is younger than me. I just gloss over that when I can. Ogard there in the 25 car, lining up towards pole position. Lubin there alongside him for Moto Park. Van Amersfoort and Motor Park, two teams that are so decorated.
Yeah, absolutely. We certainly have had heritage in single-seaters. There you can see the teams watching up from Van Amersfoort. And there's Danielle Gilles as well, part of the team manager, in fact. And there you can see all of them looking on as the cars look to get underway. I turn it over to you, Adam.
Thank you. Green flag is waved. Let's see how long the red lights are on this time. It's a bit longer than earlier, and it is a decent start for Oliver Goethe, albeit not quite strong enough to make up any positions, I don't think. It's a good start from Sebastian Ogard. He leads, and maybe up into second or third is Christian Mansell. Mansell gets third place there behind Fred Lubin. It's a good start then from the Australian driver, and Goethe up into fifth place. He's managed to dispatch Josh Mason, and well, that's trouble for everyone else up ahead. Goethe, who has made a habit of carving his way through the order so far this weekend, he's already one down.
Yeah, and Alex Peroni gaining 2 places, having the jump on Francesco Simonazzi and Nicola Marinangeli as well, who is now in 11th place. Sebastian Ogard, though, no question, he's out in front for now. Frederick Lubin in behind him too. Christian Mansell, what a rise. The car looks in fine fettle. P3 at this moment in time with Vladislav Lomko there in 4th place. Ollie Goethe still very much in the scrap too. There's a lot going on further back as well. There's some side-by-side action, I believe, as we look towards the back end between Peroni and Marinangeli as they now make their way through. Peroni also having a look through. Nicholas Pino in the scrap too in 8th place, but as you can now see them all rising up through towards Gancho. It's Ogard in front, Lubin second, Mansell up in 3rd place.
Great start from Mansell. Thought for a moment he might have managed to get second place. He'll be happy to have made up a position come what may. And here we go through the Parabolica Ayrton Senna to complete the first lap of what should be 20. It does go to a 35-minute limit should there be significant delays because of safety cars, etc. Frederick Lubin wasting no time. He looks to the inside, then the outside. That was very close for comfort. Can he make it work all the way around the outside? Sebastian Ogard goes defensive. They both try and find a way through the corner. They both do. And Lubin still almost on the outside as they go through turn 2. Ogard holds on for now, but Lubin is very much on the offensive. And Christian Mansell, he's got his feet up. I'm kidding, he hasn't. But he's going to be sitting there hoping that Ogard and Lubin maybe get into a bit of a skirmish and he can just walk through the open door.
Yeah, Ollie Goethe in turn 1 as well managed to dispatch Vladislav Lomko as well, so now he's up into 4th place, and now Mansell is going to be looking in his mirror, seeing a very familiar livery right in behind him. It is Ollie Goethe, as we're now seeing Ogard still in front, Lubin in behind, only a 1/10 of a second of margin, a fraction mere between Mansell in behind 2/10 back with Goethe in 4th place, Lomko in 5th with Josh Mason still very much there as well in 6th. Equilateral gaps near enough between everybody across the grid order right now, and as they now ride their way through Gancho, there surely will be some opportunities for many of these drivers as they round the Parabolica Ayrton Senna when they finally reach turn 13. As they do so, still Ogard on top. He holds the fastest lap, no surprise. Lubin in 2nd place, Mansell in 3rd, 4/10 back with Goethe in 4th place as they now send it down the long straight. There's the Van Amersfoort team in the technical area watching on, very conversely there between each other, just looking just to see how the Van Amersfoort cars are getting on. Here comes Goethe now, goes in on the outside this time of Mansell. Mansell tries to defend to the inside. Yes, it's Goethe who tries to hold on, but no, can't find a way through. Goethe's got to hold on to P4 for now, but does get a fastest lap for his troubles.
He does, yes. It's been rapid progress all weekend long from Oliver Goethe, son of Roald himself, a very prolific racer. Benji Goethe as well, nowadays plying his craft in GT racing. It's a family affair, and the family driver coach, Stuart Hall, has been willing on Ollie all weekend long, and certainly it's been paying off this weekend. I'm sure Goethe could well end up on the podium here. He's fourth place for now, as it's side by side between two Van Amersfoort cars. That's Ugran and Marian Angeli. We've seen those two get a bit close for comfort on a couple of occasions so far this weekend. Side by side between the two of them. Ugran holds on around the outside, or does he? No, Marian Angeli just about moves up into P7, and now they've got to contend with the Drivex cars, sorry, as Nicolas Pino gets past Ugran. The floodgates have opened because Baroni has also come through from 7th to 10th in 3 corners. Oh, that's going to sting.
Yeah, it certainly is indeed. Baroni now has got a lot of work to do still, though. Still a long way to go in this race, though, it has to be said. Still leading, though, is Ogard, with 2nd place going to Frederick Lubin. Mansell in behind him, too. Goethe is still in 4th, no doubt, still hunting on the rear, but looking behind. In comes Lomco as well with Mason. Ugran dropping down 3 places. There's action happening towards the rear. There you can see them side by side. Oh, lock-up! Brief lock-up there. You can see the 68 of Peroni looking to take full advantage. Peroni moves ahead, just trying to see who that is.
That's
in behind. That's Ugran. Ugran dropping back into 10th place is now Peroni and Pino 8th, 9th and 10th. Garcia up into 10th. Francesco Simonazzi into 11th. Ugran down to 12th as a result.
7th to 12th in just a few corners. Very cruel stuff. Here's the replay, though, of the start. It was a poor start from the back of the grid there. I believe that was Marian Angeli, but a great start from Christian Mansell. He had a nose ahead for 2nd at one point. Lubin, though, got to the corner first as Sebastian Ogard led them away. Oliver Goethe was trying to make his way through the order, and now we see a replay of the Romanian driver Filip Ugran having a bit of a moment there, and he now drops to the back of the order. We'll see if he can continue to make forward progress in the remainder of this race, but certainly a hefty blow when you're up against such a competitive and evenly matched field as we have here this weekend in the Euroformula Open. These Dallara 320 chassis, traditional junior single-seater machines. Dallara, in their 50th anniversary year, have been an integral part of the junior single-seater scene for decades at this point now. Here comes Oliver Goethe in 4th position, not close enough to Christian Mansell for now. There's a lot going on further back at the back of shot as well. That's Alex Garcia defending from Simonazzi, but Simonazzi has the inside line. He has the corner, and he should have 10th position. Well done, Francesco, making his way up for BVM Racing to 10th place.
Yeah, not content of staying in P12. He's gained 2 places now as Simonazzi, and has certainly cultivated a wonderful move down into turn 1, going ahead of the Mexican Alex Garcia, and he'll now be chasing Alex Peroni. There's now a little bit of a gap starting to form between Marian Angeli and Josh Mason, now out to 1.7 seconds, nearly 1.8, as now we see Ogard now heading in towards the next left at turn 6 at the Parabolica interior. He's also got a fastest lap for his troubles. Not a bad effort for a man with rookie status. 1:30.012 is the lap set by Ogard. In behind him is Frederick Lubin with Christian Mansell in 3rd place. Ollie Goethe currently sat in 4th place as well, with Vladislav Lomko in 5th as they rise their way up through the Gancho corners again. Still Ogard holding on to the lead. 0.8 of a second the difference between him and Lubin as they come through the next right now. Very shortly they'll be sending it around the Parabolica Ayrton Senna yet again, and commence another lap, but still Ogard off in front. As I said, rookie on top, 30.012. That is the lap to beat so far. He is nestling in a very tidy string of laps indeed. Here's the slow-mo cameras. There's Ollie Goethe's car indeed, looking ever poignant there in 4th place, and I'm sure his team would be delighted with his performance so far today.
See no reason why not. Sebastian Ogard continues to lead the way, though, in the number 25 car. He's a rookie, as you rightly said. The rookie label in his case is somehow both accurate and not representative. He has had a lot of junior single-seater success. 3rd in the Danish Formula 4 back in 2020 with 3 wins, 5 podiums. 5 wins and 8 podiums in the Spanish Championship last year. He's now moved up to Euroformula and is looking strong here as he continues to build a small advantage over Frederick Lubin. Lubin himself, though, with quite the row of cars behind. Christian Mansell, Oliver Goethe, Vladislav Lomko, for 3 drivers, as well as Josh Mason, who's closing in as well. So make that 4 drivers who we all know are more than capable of podiums, more than capable of wins. And Lubin will be trying his best to hold them all off. He himself, of course, is a fabulous driver too. So it's a real clash of the titans in this battle for second place. And yeah, let's see how Lubin does here, holding off Mansell and Goethe, both with a win apiece. They'd quite like to get 2.
Yeah, I'm sure they would, and imagine they have everything. They have all the potential to do so. Ogard, though, still in front, doing a very, very good job indeed. I am sure Van Amersfoort are delighted as a team in the technical area right now. Danielle Giel, I know she's worked hard with them for quite some time. We have got some investigation work being done on car 96, that being Ollie Goethe. So that's interesting. The stewards obviously taking note at something, overtaking out of the track. That'll be on Lomco, no doubt.
Yeah, so this was, I believe, coming out of turn 1 on lap 1, actually. He was quite wide out of the corner, and I think that's probably what they're looking at there. Turn 1, lap 1. We'll have to wait and see. Goethe in 4th position, and, well, usually overtaking off the track is pretty cut and dry. If you're being investigated for it, chances are there's a good reason, and we'll have to see whether or not he gets a penalty.
Yeah, we will indeed. I'm sure we'll be made aware very shortly by the stewards as to what the infringement is, though we could probably imagine that what happened at turn 1 on lap 1 could be no doubt the reason, the cause of action behind it, but there we have it. Marin Angeli now with the fastest lap, so to speak, 29.906. They're cascading downwards. He's the sole man in the 29s right now in terms of laps in this race. Ogard still on top, Lubin in 2nd, Mansell still in 3rd, approximately just under 4/10 in behind Lubin, and Oliver Goethe in 4th place as we now watch them make their way around the final corner at the Parabolica Ayrton Senna. Ogard still leads, and has actually made, conserved the gap of 8/10 of a second. In behind is Lubin, with Mansell starting to close, 3/10 of a second. I'm sure he'd love to add another win to his belt, as you so rightly say. He won race 1 in such grandiose fashion, maintained a 3-second gap all the way around near enough. It was a great performance, Adam.
Mansell really with the most controlled drive we've seen in Euroformula in a little while, and certainly the most controlled drive we've seen this weekend across the GT Sport organisation categories, the International GT Open and the Euroformula Open. It really was not serene. I don't think it could ever be serene in these cars. However, Mansell did have quite the commanding performance. Here's the number 71 now, just behind Frederick Lubin, 2nd and 3rd place, the 78 and the 71. Mansell of the Crypto Tower Racing team, trying his best to get a great exit out of the Parabolica interior, and the Orella turn 7, dropping downhill and then immediately ascending again towards the Gancho chicane. A fabulous section of the lap, and often very challenging. Can make or break a qualifying lap, and if you make a mistake in the race, it can also leave you susceptible to lose 1 or many positions indeed if you're in a pack.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to really be on your guard. There is Christian Mansell. Now around to begin yet another lap very, very shortly, with Ogard still leading the way. The gap has sprung out by a 1/10 of a second between him and Lubin. Mansell 4/10 back, with Ollie Goethe in behind as well. Team Moto Park watching on, both cars currently in potentially podium winning positions, because of course we've got Lubin in 2nd place, Goethe himself in 4th, so plenty to look forward to, that's for sure, as they're now making their way through the next right-hander. There's a lot of action happening in behind as well. Peroni getting in the midst of a fight. Ugran has just set the fastest lap of the race as well, and incidentally has gone purple. He went purple in sector 1, so not a bad performance at all from Philip Ugran. He went ahead of Peroni as well by the looks of it, as Peroni has now been adjusted into 10th place.
There you go, so Peroni being dispatched then, not quite carving his way through the order in the manner he was expecting coming into this race, unfortunately. Started from pole and had a jolly good performance, in the second race earlier today. We'll have to wait and see if he can move forward into the top 10. He will also be with us next weekend at the Po Grand Prix. He's won at Po before, and he would keenly love to be on the top step again next weekend. He thought he might have the opportunity this weekend. It hasn't come to pass with that mistake or that incident between himself and Ollie Goethe. Goethe still, as I understand it, under investigation. I don't think we've seen a bulletin yet declaring that Goethe has a penalty for passing off the track. We'll have to see whether a judgment is made and what the judgment is in due course. Christian Mansell, meanwhile, still there in third place, just ahead of Goethe in the distinctive Gulf colours. And it is Sebastian Ogaard that leads the way here for Van Amersfoort Racing. He would love to close out this particular weekend with a win.
Yeah, certainly would. And Goethe, obviously after his win in race 2, no doubt, you're absolutely right, would want a win himself. As you know, a bit twitchy there from Christian Mansell. The front end went a bit funny, and Ollie Goethe probably would have looked at that and thought, oh, maybe a chance. As they now make their way in towards turn 5, you can now see Ogaard still on top, Lubin, Mansell, Goethe, Lomco, Mason as well in the fight, but he's 8/10 behind Lomco. Marinangeli then a further second back with Pino 1.3 seconds behind him. Fastest lap still done by that of Ugran in 9th spot. 2.1 in behind Pino though. Peroni in 10th still. But remember, Peroni, as I said earlier on, managed to fight his way into P6 in our previous race in Euroformula. As they now head up now in towards Gancho. Still Ogaard on top, Lubin following closely in behind. The gap now 6.5 tenths of a second. Not close enough to make any signs of a move just yet, but as they now around turn 12 and now around turn 13 as the Parabolica, Ayrton Senna. If we look at the positions, as you can see on your left-hand side, Mansell up 1 place, Goethe up 2, down 2 Lomco, 1 down Mason, Marinangeli up 2, down 2 for Ugran, up 2 for Peroni, and of course Garcia down 2 himself. So a fairly modest grid right now.
Yes, a few people making their way up and a couple losing time. Those yellow bars you saw, that was just to say, yep, they're exactly where they started, and no one will be happier about that than Sebastian Ogaard. Started in the lead and has held it ever since. He's halfway through this race here at Estoril. He's halfway there to a victory, and it would be great for the championship battle to see 3 different winners in 3 races. And Christian Mansell, he would love to win this race, I'm sure, but I think primary in his thoughts right now will be, right, come what may, Oliver Goethe is not getting past me. He's already got a 14-point advantage in the championship after 2 races, and I need to beat him this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of them with a race win each this weekend. Goethe and Mansell, who would love to get one upon the other, really, wouldn't they? It has to be said. But Ogaard and Lubin maybe on set to win their first one this weekend as well. Of course, Ogaard still on top with half a second back. Lubin, Mansell in 3rd place, Goethe in 4th, Lomco still in 4th. As we look further up, the deficit coming down between Lubin and Ogaard. And after the investigation, car 96 being Ollie Goethe, no further action after the incident during the overtake process off track. So the stewards obviously seeing no issues there as such. So no action required as we now watch Ogaard now head down towards turn 1 with a contingent of cars all strung out behind him. Equilateral gaps between most of them here at Estoril. It's a pleasure to be here on this warm, sunny afternoon. Hope you're all enjoying it at home.
It's fabulous racing that we've had from the Euroformula Open all weekend, and you've kind of got this stagnation here with Sebastian Ogaard holding off a long pack of drivers now. Here's Nicola Marinangeli in 7th. It's now a 7-car train, all running line astern, and Nicolas Pino seems to be closing in as well in 8th place. So it's going to be one long train if we're not very careful here of Dallara 320s as they run through turn 5. Now the little kink on the back straight, as it were, as they go around the outer perimeter of the paddock. The Parabolica interior is next, turn 6. Goethe has been sublime through this particular corner all weekend long. We've seen him get great runs out of the corner time and time again at turn 6. Not able to get alongside Christian Mansell on that occasion. I'm sure Mansell will have observed that Goethe is strong through that section. All of these young drivers have, or as a rule, have coaches. They have obviously their race engineers. They've got a huge support staff in the team, helping them understand what they need to do, helping them understand what the competition around them is doing. And this is how you develop a pro racing driver, a star racing driver of the future. And the Euroformula Open has proven to be quite a proving ground over the years. Hence, these drivers are here this year and indeed here at Estoril. Hopping over the curbs, Sebastian Ogier and Frederik Lubin. Then Christian Mansell and Oliver Goethe, third and fourth position. Goethe still not found a way past yet, but he continues to be steely focused.
Yeah, he does indeed. All of them are steely focused right now. They do not want to move a muscle, don't want to move from their positions, don't want to sacrifice a single thing at this stage. Ogier on top, Lubin in second. And this has been maintained now for quite some time, though the gap has come down somewhat. We are down to 4/10 now. And going back to what you were saying about preparation, of course, I'll rehash it again. We saw it because Christian Mansell himself doing some tennis coaching in the back in the paddock space where we went past. Of course, we were there watching and observing, trying to do our best tennis commentary as we were watching it go on.
Yes, indeed. Yes, he did play some table tennis with one of his fitness coaches. Oliver Goethe had a little look to the inside there. Could not find a way past Christian Mansell. Lots of different ways to prepare for your racing weekend. Josh Mason has quite a fancy little device to test his reactions before getting into the car. In the GT Open paddock, Leonardo Polcini does some juggling, among other things. I was rather amazed by his regime. I think Oliver Goethe deploys the skipping rope, among other things too. All of these drivers at peak fitness, as well as peak reaction times and performance. And they are very much tools to be sharpened in the eyes of the race engineers and the coaches. Let's get them to be as good as they can be. The engineering of the driver sometimes just as important as the engineering of the car.
Yeah, absolutely. Strength is the longevity, certainly in sport. Oh, there we have a look at the BVM car of Francesco Simonazzi heading through the Gancio chicane as he rose up there, just rubbing over the curbs. The car slightly unsettled, but he manages to catch it all okay. As we now see Ollie Goethe having a nose this time on Christian Mansell, heading through the next left. As you're back with us in live feed pictures here, it's Christian Mansell in third place now. Oh, here comes Goethe. Goethe with a chance as they go side by side down towards turn 6. The advantage, though, for Mansell is that he will have the inside line, but will it be enough? Goethe maybe hanging it? No, not this time, but what about the car behind? Because in behind Ollie Goethe is Vladislav Lomko, who might want to take advantage of anything as he sees it. As you can now see, Mansell still in third, but I tell you what, I think Goethe smelt blood there.
Yes, we also saw in the back of shot Nicolas Pino spinning at turn 3. You might have just caught it in the very back of your shot. The DriveX car facing the wrong way. And here is an attempted move from Goethe. We didn't see this quite in the live pictures, but he really went for the inside of the Crypto Tower driver, Christian Mansell. No way through just yet, but let's see how this one develops. They run down the main straight once again. All of that kerfuffle between the two of them has allowed Ogier and Lubin to drive off into the distance. Christian Mansell will now be keeping an intent eye on Ollie Goethe because he's set the precedent. He has said, hey, I'm going to launch it up the inside if you give me even a fraction of an opportunity. And let's see if he has another go at turn 3. It's a rare place to make a dive up the inside from that far back, and thankfully it wasn't to be on that occasion. But Goethe looking punchy, looking feisty. He wants to make it 3 podiums from 3, of course. Christian Mansell only finished 8th in the race this morning after his win yesterday. Goethe, meanwhile, if he can make it an all-podium weekend, that would do his championship campaign all manner of favours.
It certainly would. It would do him a lot of good. But still, Mansell, 2 seconds back now in all the battling, has lost quite a bit of time to Frederik Lubin, who was obviously quite a degree closer to him. Now the gap is stagnating at 2 seconds, but there you can see Ollie Goethe getting closer and closer to Mansell. 0.2 of a second. The slipstream will be very useful. Vladislav Lomko also patiently observing and waiting in behind in 5th place too as they come up through Gancio and again attacking the curves. You see the active hands there of Ollie Goethe as they head through the next strike. Christian Mansell getting enough though out of turn 12, out of turn 11 as well, as they now head up towards the Parabolica. Ayrton Senna yet again at turn 13, still in front. Ogier and Lubin probably thanking Christian Mansell for the assistance there, holding back Ollie Goethe as he attacked. And certainly as they make their way down the stretch, it's still Ogier on top. 5 laps remain in this race here at Estoril. Still a long way to go.
Still a long way to go, absolutely right. We've got a quarter race distance left to run. Plenty of time for Christian Mansell to get the elbows out. Plenty of time for Oliver Goethe to sidestep him and try and get through into third place. And don't discount Lomco, don't discount Mason, Marian Angeli, all there kind of in the background too, waiting, maybe just sniffing around, seeing if there's potential to burst into the top 5, if not the top 3, if things go south. Christian Mansell there in the third position. Lubin still there or thereabouts with Ogard as well. Potentially, if Lubin's managed his tyres well, Ogard may yet come under pressure. We'll have to wait and see. Still a long way to go in this race. And Goethe, always so strong through 6, as we said, and he's seems to make up a car length or so most laps through there. And it is great to see just how evenly matched the pack is this year in Euroformula Open. We saw it in qualifying, with the exception of Alex Peroni, who had problems in quali. The entire field was split by 7/10 of a second, which is very good going. And in free practice, the top 8 drivers were split by 1/3 of a second. It's certainly could go any of many ways here this year in the Euroformula Open paddock. Josh Mason, he will be sat there in 6th place, seething at the results he's had so far this weekend. Let's see if he can make any further positions. And I think Lubin, I was saying about preserving the tyres, I do wonder if he has got a bit more grip in the pocket, because he is looking ever more threatening to Sebastian Ogard.
He is. He's well within 5/10 and getting closer as well at this moment in time with 4 laps remaining. Has he got enough time to unleash the beast, shall we say, as we're now watching them make their way around the next right, now up through out of turn 3 and towards turn 4. And as soon as they do so, they'll then be faced with a little kink in the road, that is turn 5. And of course, we saw Ollie Goethe pounce and win in our previous race, despite the penalty that was thrown against him. We've seen his pace all weekend. We saw it in the first race too. After not getting the best of starts, the start has really affected him all weekend. It hasn't been something he can quite nail down. And we both know, we've spoken to Stuart Hall, of course. He's been trying to really help Ollie get those starts under control, shall we say. And I think today, vastly improved, I think, certainly in this race, but he's got a different fight on his hands. He's got one Christian Mansell ahead of him, and we've been looking forward to seeing these two scrap all weekend.
Yes, indeed. We were talking about it earlier on. It was a point you flagged to me, George. Like, oh, I do hope they end up together on circuit. And we have had that. And what you've seen is 2 very evenly matched drivers keeping each other at bay. Although on this lap, I feel that Ollie Goethe is the furthest back from Mansell that he's been in quite a long time. And Vladislav Lomco is actually closer to Goethe by quite some way than Goethe is to Mansell. So could we see a personnel change for P4 in the not too distant future? Lomco coming in again from Formula 4 racing, like so many of these drivers do in Euroformula Open, and let's see if he can make it a very solid weekend indeed, with another 4th place finish here in race 3.
Yeah, absolutely. They rise up now through the next right there. You can see well, certainly the string of cars towards the back. There's Ollie Goethe as well in behind, just trying to chase on Christian Mansell. Ogard still on top. You can see them still as they were. It's certainly Ogard, car number 25. And I tell you what, his team will be absolutely delighted with the progress they made, Van Amersfoort. And like I said earlier on, we met the team the other weekend. Charismatic bunch, it has to be said, Adam. We saw them during the photo shoot and the presentation. All of them in great spirits. As now we see taking a very wide line there. Ollie Goethe up on the top end, heading down towards turn 6, leading up towards turn 7. And now rounding turn 8, leading up towards the Gancho corner. And still nose to tail between them. There's the cars in behind too. Of course, Nicolas Pino and Alex Garcia. And I tell you what, it's all a matter of time, a matter of question, who's going to break the domino effect.
That's Josh Mason and Philip Ulgran here fighting for 7th place. Mason was in 6th, so Marian Angeli has got past at some point over the last couple of laps. And interested to see what happened there. I don't think we spotted that one on the live pictures. Certainly I didn't, so I hold my hands up if so. Mason going defensive up against Philip Ulgran here as they run towards turn 1, but we look away from that one for the time being. We'll see what order they come out in due course, and I think we might just get a look, and it has changed. So Philip Ulgran did, we just saw it in the back of shot, Philip Ulgran did move up to 7th position. Of course, he ended up right at the back at one point, and he fell from 7th to 12th in about 5 corners, and he's now back up to 7th place. So Ugran displaying what he can do now, but Josh Mason really falling away, and that's a huge shame for Josh. It's not been the best weekend at all. He had a fabulous qualifying, but in the races, it just seems that misfortune has piled atop misfortune.
Yeah, well, Philip Ugran currently positioned exactly where he finished in race 2, so he's making some moves, never to say the least, but yeah, I can agree with you. I think on Josh Mason, I'm sure he would have wanted something a little bit more than what he's got. But, you know, encouraging qualifying signs from Josh Mason, though there you can see the gaps in between them. Obviously, from the leader, of course, Ogard with 18 laps, half a second with Lubin in 2nd place. Mansell, 2.1 seconds. Now, that gap has increased somewhat and has gone out by another 10th. Goethe in behind, approximately 5/10 behind Mansell. And as we look further down, you can see that all the deltas are starting to be pulled out now, ripped apart. You can see there Philip Ugran now 2.2 seconds, the gap between him and Nicola Marinangeli right now, so he's got a little bit of work to do. A little bit of a look down the inside there from Frederick Lubin, as pulling into the inside is Mansell, looking to perhaps defend from any move that Goethe might want to make.
Final lap of the race then, and Mansell clearly anticipating a last lap dash for the cash from Oliver Goethe. Let's see if he can make it happen here in the final 10 corners. They're at turn 3 already here on the final lap at Estoril. Fastest lap of the race last time by from Philip Ugran, a 1:29.425, showing us strength and pace ahead of the Pau Grand Prix next weekend. Very much looking forward to that one. Goethe, though, trying for 3rd place, is he? Mansell certainly feels the need to go defensive. We know that Goethe can do good things here at T6. He tries to get to the inside line, find the traction. He can't quite do it. Mansell's still there ahead of him. Mansell will make it absolutely abundantly clear that he's taking the inside, and for now Goethe has to settle for 4th. Let's see if he can find a way through. Can he make the lunge at Gancho? No. Mansell goes defensive again, but has he gone too defensive? No, he hasn't quite compromised his run enough for Goethe to capitalise, and it's Ogard and Lubin still very close at the head of the order. It looks as though Seb Ogard is going to be our winner. Lubin to follow him home in 2nd. They come around the Parabolica Ayrton Senna for the final time. The checkered flag waits, and it is Ogard that claims the win. Lubin 2nd, Mansell 3rd, and Goethe 4th. Lomko and Marinangeli in 5th and 6th places. Philip Ugran is 7th after some qualifying laps there towards the end. Josh Mason claiming 8th, and then a bit of a synchronised photo finish from Peroni and Pino in 10th and 11th. Francesco Simonazzi finished ahead of them in 9th. Alex Garcia out there on circuit, yet to finish, but he will come home in 12th.
Yeah, very happy team manager, team boss Daniel Gil there, who I'm sure is delighted to see Sebastian Ogard take top honours here today at Estoril. What a sight indeed for Van Amersfoort. They can cheer to the heavens indeed. Frederick Lubin in 2nd place, Christian Mansell in 3rd, able to hold off the relentless Ollie Goethe, who was trying to send everything. I noticed that he didn't pull off the similar moves that he did on Alex Peroni, but Sebastian Ogard is confirmed your race winner there for Van Amersfoort Racing. Frederick Lubin finished in 2nd for Team Moto Park. Christian Mansell in 3rd place with Ollie Goethe in 4th. Vladislav Lomko in 5th with Nicola Marinangeli in 6th. Philip Ugran finished in 7th with Josh Mason in 8th. Francesco Simonazzi in 9th for BVM, and then Alex Peroni in 10th for DriveX. P11 went to Nicolas Pino in 11th spot, of course, with Alex Garcia finishing last of the runners in 12th spot.
And now look at the points table, and look at that. Sebastian Ogard has entered the conversation. 3 points back from Oliver Goethe. Fred Lubin and Christian Mansell also still there and thereabouts, and quite a big gap back to Vlad Lomko in 5th position on 28 points. But 4 drivers within a dozen points. The 2 Danes at the top. This is looking like a very compelling season in the Euroformula Open, and a great season for Oliver Goethe thus far. Let's see if he can carry off this momentum when we go to Pau next weekend. Here's the finish. Here's the flag for Sebastian Ogard. It was a really solid run. An Amersfoort driver from pole position is always the mark of a good driver when you can capitalise on a good grid position. Lubin there taking 2nd. He really was trying on that last lap, but couldn't quite get to the point of attacking Ogard Mansell holding on to that podium despite Oliver Goethe looking racy on the final lap, and we're about to see a very, very happy Sebastian Ogaard.
We are indeed. You can see him there marching up, well, moving the car up towards the first place spot in the pre-podium area. There he is, wheel out, and he'll soon step out, I'm sure, and celebrate with his team at Van Amersfoort. You can see there in second as well, Frederik Lubin alongside doing exactly the same, as I'm sure Christian Mansell will be as well. Of course, Christian Mansell, a very successful weekend, 1 win and a 3rd place. There's Ogaard celebrating after a fantastic win in race 3 here at Estoril.
And you know what? That new helmet might just be his lucky helmet now. That's going to have a beautiful livery on it by the time we get to Paul Ricard. If he can get it done for Poe, I'm sure he will. But great result from Sebastian Ogaard. Chats further back there. That's Fred Lubin celebrating a good result there. 2nd position for Frederik Lubin here today. And that's Christian Mansell in 3rd position as well. Good job from Christian this weekend. And as we saw on that graphic, Ogaard, Mansell, Goethe, Lubin, all there or thereabouts when it comes to the points tally. And we'll have to see how that evolves by the time we get to Poe. It's 2 races at Poe as opposed to the regular 3, the second of which on a Sunday is the Poe Grand Prix. Christian Mansell claiming 3rd position for Crypto Tower Racing Team then. Did a great job of managing Oliver Goethe's advances, no matter what the Dane threw at him. Frederik Lubin in 2nd place. Great result from Frederik. And the 1st position going to Sebastian Ogaard. Ogaard with a great drive from pole position. Let's hear from the young Dane now.
Sebastian Ogaard, terrific race for this race 3 at Estoril, and 1st victory for you and for VAR.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm really happy. It's probably the longest race of my career. At least it felt like the longest 20 laps of my life.
It was a difficult weekend, but it ends well.
Yeah, we were lacking a bit of pace, especially in the beginning of the weekend, and I think the team did an amazing job recovering that pace, and in the end we were quite competitive.
Well done, and see you soon.
Huge congratulations to Seb Ogaard. Let's see then how that one went down. Race 3 here at Estoril in the Euroformula Open. It was a good start from Sebastian Ogaard, a poor start from further back from one of the other VAR cars. Meanwhile, Fred Lubin tried and failed to get to the inside at turn 1. And then we saw Christian Mansell getting himself up to 3rd from P4. Oliver Goethe having a bit of a side-by-side battle further back as well. We thought he might have overtaken off track, but that was later quashed by a steward's inquiry. Philip Ugran had a bit of a moment up the inside. He went from 7th to 12th in about 5 or 6 corners prior to turn 1. It was not a good run at all from Philip Ugran to that point, although he would later recover up to 7th place. Oliver Goethe took a real lunge at the 3rd corner of the lap, tried to get to the inside of Christian Mansell, but did not manage to get by the Australian driver. Sebastian Ogaard, the Dane, claiming victory. The first ever win in Euroformula Open from Sebastian Ogaard. The rookie driver in the rookie trophy category will be delighted with his day's work, and Van Amersfoort Racing will match his energy, no doubt. Christian Mansell already on the podium. Here's Frederik Lubin making his way to pick up his trophy, and then it's Sebastian Ogaard. He's captained 2 trophies because he's also, of course, the rookie winner too. And there you go. They've sent the boss up there. Very nice. We will now hear the national anthem of Denmark.
Congratulations, Sebastian.
There you go, Sebastian claiming the plaudits then. And a huge result for everyone at Van Amersfoort Racing. That will give the entire team reason to be optimistic heading to Po next weekend. Christian Mansell looking delighted with his spoils from that one in particular. Big wry smile from him.
And now,
And
champagne all you want.
there you go, the spraying of the champagne is ongoing. Frederick Lubin runs away. Mansell versus Ogard. I wonder if we'll see that in the cars next weekend in Po. But for now, from Estoril, it's farewell.